What happens when a tree is struck by lightning? Welcome to the next episode of Loving Live Oaks with the Tree Messiah from the Cajun Bayou. Board certified ISA Arborist, multiple qualifications, plant healthcare technician, CTSP, TREC, PPQ under Dr. Ed Gilman. I've been in the tree business since '09 and I love live oaks. I have a passion for them, they're my specialty. And I've been going to school around the country, learning the science, the chemistry, the physics and everything else into keeping these trees healthy, structurally sound and safe for my customers, but as well as the health of the trees. What we're dealing with on this job, this particular site, I was called out to come and investigate and do a diagnosis on a live oak tree that was suffering with bark separating, splitting off the tree. I've already taken my saw and cut back most of the bark that's off. We're gonna come back with a wood chisel a little later today and trace it back to where we get back to the bark that's still attached to the tree. What happens is we're thinking from all of our analyzing that this was done with a lightning strike. Lightning may have come out there and multiple sides of the tree. We got 3 or 4 different spots like this on the trunk where bark is coming off of it. So when that happens from the heat, it kills the cambium. And when this cambium starts to die, which is in the bark, it separates from the xylem, which is this, and it pops off. This right here is starting to die, or it's dead already. And there's tiny holes everywhere that's telling me that there's a wood-borne insect. And the proof of it is something called frass. It looks like sawdust. What it is as the bugs are digging, they're kicking it out. It's a very fine sawdust powder. And that's what guarantees us that it's definitely a wood-borne insect that's in here making these holes. But the insect is a secondary factor. It's not the primary cause of what's going on with the tree. They normally come once the tree is stressed or, once again, when the wood is starting to die and the tree's defense is low. So they'll come in and they'll bore in and they'll start doing their thing. I mean, they're naturally decomposers, and that's what they do in nature. So they come here to start doing their job. But what we're trying to do so this client doesn't lose their tree that they love so much is we came in, we did our tree gumbo. Now, we do have a different product that we put in it this time. We held off on the nitrogen. We didn't put any fertilizer because we don't want to send any of that energy to growth on the tree. What we want the tree to try to build this defense naturally with the organics we put in the ground. There's some sap coming out right here that the tree's actually trying to push the beetles out. When you see holes like this, the bug was able to penetrate, but in some areas where it was still a little bit alive, it basically has sap trying to push the bugs out. So you can see a couple of the little holes with the sap, and the beetles are still stuck in there. So that's the tree's defense to try to push them out. So what we're trying to do is get the immune system and the defense, the vigor of the tree back up so it forms coated. Compartmentalization of decay in trees. It's a 4-stage process where it's going to wall off behind this area and seal off from allowing any more decay to get more into the xylem of the tree. Now, the reason we cut this bark back to where it's attached to the xylem still and not separated is so that way the tree can even try to start compartmentalizing and rounding off like you see in branches that have been cut and stuff where they close up. Now, it's a big wound. It's probably never going to completely close, but it will start trying to wrap around and close itself. So, like I said, the goal for this situation is to get the tree's defense back up, get its health back up, and monitor this. I'm going to come back in 30 days and add some more old soil, and then 30 days again I'm going to come put some more. It's a product, it's a couple years out on the market. It's basically full of humus and mycorrhizae. We want ectomycorrhizae for our live oak trees, not endo. Endo is more for your plants and stuff, but your ecto is what these live oaks like. So we're really putting those organisms into the ground. We injected biochar vital blend. We went triple dose on it to really give a lot of carbon into the soil. And we put some other ectomycorrhizae that we got from a company called Doggett. So that's our tree gumbo that we mixed together to inject the soil here. We did 200 gallons on this tree, and we did 100 on the tree over there. It has a small wound as well. We're not sure if the lightning went under the ground, traveled through the roots, and affected that tree. Not only are we adding our tree gumbo and injecting our tree gumbo into the site, but of course we're going to go with our 6 inches of organic wood chips. As always, this right here is the key to getting it back to a natural forest floor environment. This is going to help with drought. If we have any drought conditions coming up, this helps hold moisture. If there's a freeze, it also helps protect the fine feeder roots when it gets extremely cold. And as it breaks down, it is going to release its nutrients into the ground. So that's what our plans with this particular tree is, to try to bring it back to the best health possible, so she can try to naturally fight off what's going on. Also, once these wood-borne insects are past the cambium, it's really hard to get them with any type of pesticides or something, because they're past the flow of the nutrients. So once they pass that, it's hard for any insecticide to really get to them once they're in that xylem. So once again, we want to build the tree's defense and naturally try to shut the activity going down in there.